Abigail Adams spent her first 20 years in a modest home in Braintree, Massachusetts. Along with traditional women's education, her father, a minister, saw to it that young Abigail read all the European poets and playwrights. She was even introduced to the radical philosophy of Locke and Rousseau. This woman, of simple birth and simple tastes, was someday to become the wife of one president and the mother of another. Shortly after her marriage to John Adams, the two were forced into a life of intermittent separation by the War for Independence. They were apart more than 12 years of their married life. All that year, Abigail was in Massachusetts with her children, but her heart and her mind were in Philadelphia with her husband. This is a letter she wrote John in the spring of 1776. How many are the solitary hours I spend ruminating upon the past and anticipating the future, whilst you, overwhelmed with the cares of state, have but few moments you can devote to any individual. All domestic pleasures and enjoyments are absorbed in the great and important duty you owe your country. I long to hear that you have declared an independency. And by the way, in the new code of laws, which I suppose it will be necessary for you to make, I desire you would remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors. Do not put such unlimited power into the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could. If particular care and attention is not paid to the ladies, we are determined to foment a rebellion and will not hold ourselves bound by any laws in which we have no voice or representation. Men of sense in all ages abhor those customs which treat us only as the vassals of your sex. As to clothing of any sort, for myself or family, I think no more of purchasing any than if they were to live like Adam and Eve in innocence. I seek wool and flax, and can work willingly with my hands. And though I do not abound, I am not in want. Ever remember with a tender sentiment her who knows no earthly happiness equal to that of being tenderly beloved by her dearest friend. In her later years, the wife of the President of the United States was to live comfortably in a style more refined and sophisticated than before. Yet one can always recognize a sense of simplicity and practical good taste in all she touched when compared with her European counterparts. The display of wealth of the English nobility and the utter extravagance and excess of the French monarchy